Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today I am sharing with you all of the pages I coloured for the month of January 2025. I've got a lot of books in front of me here, so many that you can't even see them all on frame. It was a very good colouring month for me for January, which is great because so far February I just haven't been in the mood. Today is the 13th of February and I haven't sat at my desk for the whole month, for the whole of the month so far, which is why this video is so late out. Today is actually my birthday and I thought, what way do I want to spend my birthday? And I thought, at my desk colouring. So that's what I'm here doing, and I just wanted to get rid of this stack of books, put them away, work on some of the whips I have outstanding from January, and just move on to some of my February plans, because I've got quite a few plans if you saw my last video. So I'm going to move all of these books to the side and get straight into it. So I'm going to start with my 2025 colouring journal and just show you how the month of January went out. I did upload quite a few videos throughout the month of January, which is a great thing. I did 11 videos and I quite liked having this calendar spread to be able to see them all spread out like that. I didn't do too many after Christmas in the first week of January, but after that I was uploading every 2 to 3 days, which was a good balance for me. I did quite a few of my buddy colours, almost all of the project books that I had to do. I did a few of the randomised books and some of the prompts. And I had so many completed pages, I had to go over to a third page, which I've never had to do before. But I haven't quite got round to doing my stats yet. But I coloured a total of 36 pages for January. 10 of those were colour by numbers, and I didn't get any double page spreads done, which I was quite annoyed at myself for, because that was one of my goals for 2025 and already I've broken it, to colour a double page spread a month. I'll have to maybe catch up and do 2 1 month to sort of at least satisfy the 12 for the year that I wanted to do. For buddies, I did 10 individual buddy colours and 4 group buddy colours, so quite a few buddies done. I completed 6 whips. I did a lot of whips this month, and it was great to have some of those long-term whips finally finished. I coloured in 5 untouched books, and I coloured in 7 out of the 12 randomised books from January. And I just want to show you my books coloured in 2025 spread. I coloured in a total of 24 books this last month, and I've just got a tally on the side. There are a few books where I did colour more than one page in. So we will get to looking at those. I will leave the journal on the side here, because some of these pages I coloured quite a while ago, so I need prompting of what I used on them. The first book I have to show you is Mini Mania Volume 1. This is a group buddy colour along that I host, Complete Mini Mania, and the page for January was this Book Hotel page, and I absolutely love this page. I wanted to use some nice bright fun colours. I based this with Ohuhu alcohol markers and shaded over the top with Prismacolors. Yeah, I'm just checking I didn't use anything else. Yeah, just Prismacolors. And I added some metallic watercolour on the spines of the books, which just adds a fun little shimmery shine. Lots of white paint pen to highlight the page. This was just such a quick and easy page to colour for me. Really like how it turned out. And for February, if you haven't seen already, I picked this page, which I'm hoping to get coloured for my birthday month. So that is Mini Mania 1 by Gabby Wolf. And have you seen, she's just released Mini Mania 6. It looks really cute. I think I might be getting it soon. Then I have Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson, and this was one of my long-term whips that I've had for a few months, and I finally finished this Butterfly Girl page. I had coloured her hair and her skin before now, and I just had the butterfly and most of the stars left to do. I used Prismacolors for this page and a lot of silver Signo gel pen to accent the wings on the butterfly. I went for this rose gold colour combo to match the watch on the opposite page, Really enjoyed. I remember really enjoying actually colouring the purple hair, although it did take a long time. I think the rose gold came out really effective. Oh, I wish I'd noted down, it was something like using chestnut henna and like a peachy beige colour, and it worked really well for this. And I like how shiny and shimmery it is with all the silver gel pen. And it was great to finally get another page done in this book. I've only done these 2 pages, but now I've got that whip finished, I feel like I can tackle something else now. So that is Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. Another whip I've had for the past couple of months was in Sesame Atelier colouring book. This is illustrated by Hygge. That might not be completely accurate, but that was the best translation I could find. And this was a buddy colour with Emily from eArt Studios on Instagram and YouTube. And this was the page we did, this art bookstore page, and you can see I used a colour cube palette. Really loved the pink, teal and blue on this one, and then I used the sort of orangey browns for the wood. Before January I had basically done all of the wood, and I just had all the books and the girl herself left to colour. And I had an absolute blast colouring this. I love colouring books, I find it very relaxing. I like the limited colour palette, and the girl herself turned out really cute. I have noted down the colours for the girl and the cat, so I can hopefully try and make it consistent throughout the book. And I do still have my colour combos. I use Black Widows for this page, so I can hopefully do this eventually. I just haven't quite got round to it, but I would like to colour that with the matching colours for this page. I will move mine across and show you Emily's here. She went for a completely different colour scheme, but absolutely love how it turned out. It was a page that we both kind of forgot and abandoned for a while, but it's great to finally have it done. And this was my first page coloured in this book. So that is an untouched book coloured in. That is the Sesame Atelier book by Hygge. Next I've got Cottage Friends. This is one of my books I would like to focus on finishing for 2025. And I picked out this book for Zoe and Dee's. They have a Facebook group where they pick prompts for the cute and cozy books, and I coloured this for the prompt Snow, I believe. It could have gone for a lot of them, because I think Christmas Lights might have been one of them. No, that was December Christmas Lights. But I coloured this one. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers, and I didn't like how this page turned out for quite a while, but looking at it now, it's okay. It's not my favourite. I wish I'd pre-picked out the colour palette, because I think it would have gone a bit more smoother than I just kind of coloured as I went. But I added a lot of the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen over the top. You can kind of see it. It's kind of rubbed off onto the sky, but I don't mind that. It adds to the glittery effect. I added it on all the snow and on the lights and on the moon. And it just gives this beautiful shimmery shine that's quite subtle, and a bit of yellow glitter gel pen around the lights to sort of get rid of the lines, the black lines, and on the moon. And I whited out all the lines for the snow to give it a more seamless effect. But yeah, that is another page done in this book, and the first one I've done in the winter section for Cottage Friends by Jeanette Veronica. Then I've got 50 Woodland Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. This is a new project book for me for 2025. This is with Mindy at Colouring with Cats Among Orchids and Jan at Aloha Lady 24 on Instagram. And the page we coloured for January was this adorable hedgehog page. Absolutely loved colouring this. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the entire thing, and I used a lot of white gel pen to give it some highlights. And for the background, I was torn between yellow and pink to match the flowers. And I ended up going for pink because it's a bit different for me. I don't think I've ever done a pink background like this before. And I just love how it brings in the pinky, purpley colour of the blackberries and of the flowers. And there's just a really nice contrast to all the brown neutral tones. Really enjoyed colouring that one. I will move mine to the side and show you Mindy and Jan's here. They both did a beautiful job with their pages. I love colouring berries, so this was a really fun page for me. And because we've just started this as a project book, Mindy had already coloured a few pages, so I planned to colour one to catch up with her. And this was done as a buddy colour with Nikki from Knick Knack Colours. We did the bear with the honey pot. I love how bright and summery this looks, even though we're in winter. I just love it. He's such a cute little bear. I used Hygge alcohol markers again and a bit of Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on the wings of the bees. I've used this pen a lot this month for snow, for the wings, and I even tried using a bit of the, what's it called? Sakura glaze pen, clear one on the honey. Didn't turn out as shiny as I was hoping, but there is a subtle shine. It's not even picking up on camera. I'm trying. No. But I can see this very subtle shine in real life, and it does have this kind of nice smooth texture. But I kept the colour palette really limited with just the yellow, blue, brown and green for the leaves. And then a tiny bit of this kind of very pale pinky colour for the flower petals. I just think he's so cute. I will show you Nikki's here. Again, she did a beautiful job, and it was great to get a page caught up and closer to finishing this book. So let's look at my tracker. I've now completed 8 pages in this book. And the page we're doing for February is this one. It's kind of Valentine's themed with a little cake, kind of birthday themed. I'm really looking forward to getting this page done soon. That is 50 Woodland Miniatures by Camila Angelkova. Then I have a previously untouched book. This is the Cat General Store and the Magic Key colouring book by Moko. And this was a buddy colour with Veronica Dunn, 66, and we did this treehouse page. I really enjoyed colouring this. I used, what did I use? Artex pencils for the tree, I say the tree, for the leaves, the greens and the bushes and the, I think the wood of the building. No, yeah, I just used Artex for the green, and then for everything else I used polychromos because I really wanted to have this kind of yellowy brown colour, and that didn't exist in the Artex range of colours, but I knew there was the colour I wanted in the polychromos, so I brought them out, and then I ended up using them for the rest of the page as well. I added a bit of gold Signo pen on the star up here, any sort of like metallic accents. I outlined this sign here, which I believe it just says something like, this cat lives in the general store, which is here, and this is the little donkey postman that comes visit. But I've got the colours saved on the opposite side here. I've just put a bit of washi tape on this piece of paper that I was using so that I can keep the colours consistent, not consistent, that's not a word. So I could keep the colours consistent throughout the book. That's something I like to do because this treehouse does pop up in different scenes of the books, and the donkey postman pops up again. So I've got that saved. And I used a bit of the Ohuhu soft pastel for the background, just applied it with a cotton pad and applied some spray fixative over the top so it wouldn't transfer over to the other side. But I really liked this page and how it turned out. It was a lot of fun to colour. It's very whimsical, cutesy line work. I will move mine across and show you Veronica's here. Again, love how warm and cosy hers looks. Super, super beautiful. And thank you for colouring with me and getting this book finally worked in. That is the Cat General Store and Magic Key. Then I have another project book. This is RJ Hampson's Around the World, a Mr. Fogarty colouring book. This I am colouring in order with Catherine from Cath Colours Pages. Still haven't done the intro ones, but we have been going through. Wow, I sort of have been jumping around as and when, but I finally got the Charing Cross page finished. I based this with the Ohuhu alcohol markers and shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils. And I was stuck on this for such a long time. I had done this sort of bronzy, I say bronze, it's not really bronze, kind of red metal colour for the train station. And I had based all the greys and stuff like that, Mr. Foggy and these little creatures down here. But then I was stuck on the train. I wasn't sure what to do with the train. Did ask a few people, and I was sort of between black and green and red and blue, and I thought red would not look right with this sort of reddish toned metal I've got here. Green would look nice, but I wasn't feeling green for this page. Don't know why. And I sort of landed on blue because I thought it would be a nice contrast with the reddish metal here. And I'm really glad I went with blue because it does contrast nicely. It matches Mr. Foggy because I'd coloured him blue first, because I'd coloured him on the previous 2 pages red, so I wanted something a little bit different for this page. So I coloured him blue. But I looked up some pictures of blue trains online, and a lot of them had these black engines and then blue carriages. So that worked well to make him pop off the page as well. The fact that it was black behind him, not blue behind him, so he wasn't blending into the train. And he's a fancy guy. He's the sort of guy that would match his clothes for the transport he's going on. Might not later on, but for his first train, yeah, he's going to match. And then to finish it off, I added a little bit of gold Signo pen around on these buttons, on the buckles, on these outfits here, and the black glaze pen on the sign, which I really like the shiny effect there, and also around this sign here on the numbers here and sort of outlining it around there. Really enjoyed colouring that. I will move it across and show you Catherine's here. Again, she did an amazing job. She completed hers ages ago. And I was so close to finishing Paris. I got it all based. In fact, I think I might colour this after I film the video. I just need to finish it off with pencils over the top. But I'm really liking this sort of nice spring colour palette with pinks and greens and a pop of red on his jumper here. So that is R.J. Hampson's Around the World, a Mr. Foggy colouring book. Sticking with R.J. Hampson, I've got Hide and Seek, and this is a book that was randomised for January. Getting confused with the months now. I think because we're like halfway through February, I'm just getting confused. This is randomised for January, and Katie from Koo's Life in Colour saw this and reached out and asked if I wanted to do a buddy colour in here, and I was like, yes, absolutely. And the page we decided on doing was this one, which begins the second set of pages. We were talking about how we were going to approach this page, and she had no clue on what colours to use, and I wasn't sure either, and I had the idea of trying to match the front cover as best as I could, and she really liked that idea, so she was more inspired by the front cover, whereas I, as you can see, tried my best to match the cover as I could. I really enjoyed colouring this. I used only alcohol markers, really had a lot of fun with the blending, as you can see on the back. It looks a bit crazy, but I really had a lot of fun with the blending, adding lots of layers for depth, and then for the background here, because on this one it was just black, I thought I'd make it a night sky. We've got this moon in the centre, and I added a bit of the Gansai Tambi silver metallic watercolour, which adds a nice shimmery shine to contrast with everything else. And this little fox looking up, I just kind of used the same orangey colours that I'd used in the cat up there. But it was a lot of fun sort of flipping through and adding bits of colour and swatching them all out. I will move mine across and show you Katie's here. She did an amazing job. And even though we were both inspired by the same image, they both turned out quite differently from each other, which I always enjoy. So thank you so much for helping me get started in this book. That was my first page coloured in here from R.J. Hampson's Hide and Seek. Next I've got 50 Mythical Miniatures by Kamila Angelkova. I've been loving this book so much recently, and I've been super inspired to colour in it thanks to Melissa from Winter 89 Colours. She's been doing this as a project book where she picks 4 pages a month to colour in. I did 2, I believe they were catch-up pages from December. Oh gosh, now all my flags for February are flying out. Here is one. I did the Yeti. Actually, I think this was picked for November, but I wanted to save it for a wintry month as I was still in the autumnal mood in November and then Christmas mood in December. So I thought I'd save this for January. Really love colouring this little Yeti. It's quite easy to colour. I used the Ohuhu alcohol markers only for this page and shaded with them. Added a circle background with this nice, very, very dark blue colour. And a lot of Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on the Yeti's face, on his tummy patch, on the snow, on the top of the iceberg here, and even a bit of blue glitter gel pen in the water. Yeah, so this one is super. Oh, and even on his eyes. I've done a little ring around his eyes of glitter gel pen. Yeah, really loved using the Spectrum Noir glitter gel pen this month, as I said. Adds this super shimmery effect, which for me in real life is kind of blinding me with the glitter, but it really doesn't pick up when it's on a light colour on camera. I think you can kind of see the shine on his face. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then the other one I did was Capricorn. I think it's nearer the front of the book, is it? I don't know. Maybe not. Here it is. So you go, Capricorn. And I managed to colour this on the 19th of January, which is the very last day of the Capricorn season. This was picked for December again, so I didn't manage to get any of the pages for January done, but that's okay. They're not going anywhere, they're still in the book. I've got all the time in the world to colour it. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for this, and again, a lot of glitter gel pen. So I used a green glitter gel pen to outline the scales on the Capricorn's tail, to outline the sort of lines on the tails, fins, I'm not sure, and on the jellyfish as well, and then all the bubbles and the sort of heads of the jellyfish have the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen. You can really see it up there actually. So another super shimmery, shiny page, and I really like the limited colour palette of the sort of tealy blue and the turquoise sea background, this pale kind of tannish colour for the Capricorn. I think he looks super cute. But yeah, there's lots of pages left to colour in this one. I really want to do this for Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow, but I'll see if I get to that one. And we have a few more. The dragon, I believe, was picked. We've got the turtle with an island on its back, the aspidicaloon. I will have to search how to pronounce that when I colour it. The fairy and the hydra as well. So that is another 2 pages coloured in 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camilla Angel Cover, and that means I've done 10 pages now in this book. So starting to fill up nicely. Next I've got Domin's World Fairy Tales book. This is illustrated by Domin, and the page I coloured in here was... Come on, it's the only page I've coloured in this book so far, is it? Near the front, yeah. Was the Wizard of Oz page. I've been very obsessed with Wicked recently, and when this book got picked by the randomizer wheel, I thought it's got to be the Wizard of Oz page in celebration of Wicked. I really loved colouring this, and it was a big challenge. There were a lot of challenging elements about the page. I think one of the first things I did was the ruby slippers, or not ruby, they're silver slippers in the original book. And from this, I tried to emulate the original artwork as best as I could. I sort of brightened it up a little bit, and I couldn't completely replicate the same look because I doubt they use colour pencils for this. But adding all of these different colours, like there's bits of blue, there's bits of green, there's bits of red in the silver slippers, and I emphasised the highlights with a white paint pen, added some sparkly shines, and I think they look pretty effective. And I like how the lining of them is red to sort of nod to the film being the ruby slippers. The original book was silver, but if you didn't know, for the film they wanted to change it to red to kind of show off their new Technicolor filming equipment. And then the other hard bit was these bubbles. That was the last bit I coloured because they're quite dark and They've got lots of different colours in, and I just kind of smushed them all together. I did lots of layers. I used Artex pencils on here. It was one of the first pages I used the Artex pencils on. Absolutely love them. Really enjoy them. They apply down really easily. But yeah, so happy with how this turned out. I added a bit of gold silver Signo pen to add a bit of shine to the page around all of these sort of gold accents. And you can see I did change a couple of bits, like this was meant to be this sort of tealy, bluey, reddy colour, but I just made it green just for ease of me colouring and keeping it a bit more limited and easier. But yeah, I really enjoy colouring this, and it's a very different art style than what I'm used to colouring, but it was fun trying to replicate it, and I've got some more techniques now in my arsenal of how to colour shiny things, which is great. So that was the Domin's World Fairy Tale book. Then I have Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure by Morgan O'Brien. This is a project book with Nikki from Knick Knack Colours, Colouring with Amy and Geordie Colours. And the page we did for January was this one, the one of the Arctic monkey in the hot springs, and another page which I used a lot of the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen. I based it with the Ohuhu alcohol markers. I wanted to go for a kind of greeny, natural kind of looking colour rather than a bright blue or anything like that. So I went this sort of like greenish bluish colour. I shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils, as they had some great colours for this. And then I thought to contrast that, I would make the sky purple. I really like how that turned out. The one thing I would change is making the monkey a different colour. I think when I based it, I based it this sort of more yellowish grey colour, but when I went over them with pencils, I think I used a couple of the same ones. I think they look a bit too similar in tone. I think I would like this a bit lighter. I wanted it kind of white, but I couldn't actually find any reference images of it being white, so I went for this sort of yellowish, brownish, greyish colour. And again, lots of Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen over the top. It doesn't stay put perfectly, so there is a lot of glitter transfer on the water and now on my hand and on the opposite page, but that just adds to the sparkle of the page, I think. Got absolutely no problem with glitter transfer, just adds to the fun. So that was the page we did for January. Oh, let me pop mine to the side and show you everyone's here. I love how they always look so different from each other. It's great how all of our minds seem to work differently when it comes to this book. Makes it really fun. And the next page we are colouring for February is this one with the koala. Looking forward to this. It's a bit of a different vibe from the last two pages we coloured. I just love how cute and cuddly they look. That is Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure by Morgan O'Brien. Then a page I coloured by myself. I mean, I colour all of these pages by myself, but not as a buddy colour or anything like that is what I mean. Was in A Million Cute Animals, and I did this for my snow/ice prompt for the Lulu Mayo scavenger hunt that I host every month. And this is the page I'd coloured. I've been wanting to colour this page for ages, but I was saving it for the winter month, and then I was saving it for this snow/ice prompt, and I love how it looks. It was really simple to colour. I used Artex pencils for the pencil work for the polar bears and the whales, and then a blue metallic watercolour for the background, which is super shiny and actually laid down pretty well. It is still a bit streaky. I do find the metallic watercolours can look quite streaky, but this one wasn't too bad. And I also used the blue metallic watercolour on the snowflakes. And right at the end I decided, because the watercolour it's not completely opaque, but it's not transparent either, so it kind of covers up the lines of these snowflakes, and I thought it looked a bit messy, so I went over them with a silver Signo gel pen, and I much prefer the look of it now. It is super shiny, this page. Hard to show it on camera, but really enjoyed colouring it. It was quite a quick and simple page to colour. I think I did it in one evening. But that was another page coloured in this book, A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. Continuing on with the theme of colouring prompts. I did a couple from Fuzzy Hygge Christmas, because even though this is a Christmas book, it does have plenty of wintry rather than Christmassy pages. And I coloured this Snow Angels page for the Cute, Comfy and Cozy Facebook group hosted by Zoe and Dee. This was for winter activity. This was quite a quick page to colour because it's all set in snow. So I used the Ohuhu alcohol markers, and just the way I like to colour snow is outlining it with a pale blue or like a pale grey or pale something, and just outline all the lines with that. And instead of this time of whiting out the lines, I silvered out the lines. I used a silver glitter pen by Pentel, the dual hybrid metallic one. And I just love how sparkly it is, which you can definitely see the shine there. And then for the characters themselves, I just kept their colour schemes pretty simple with this sort of peachy colour, purple and blue, nice pastel colours, and they look so cute all together. So that was one page I coloured. And then I also coloured this one for the prompt winter clothes, as I really like the jumper and the knitted scarf here. I wanted it to be a nice daytime scene, so I did this bright blue sky, again Ohuhu alcohol markers for this page, and a nice pinky colour for the scarf, and I wanted to make it really look knitted, so I added this sort of knit pattern with my alcohol marker, and then it was kind of blending in with the base colour, so I went over all of the lines with a white paint pen to kind of highlight them, and it created this really cute little knitted effect. And I did the same on the jumper down here to sort of emphasise the knittedness of it. And no silver, no glitter gel pen on this one, just straight alcohol markers and a bit of white paint pen. So those were 2 more pages done in this book, which I was really glad to get some more done before I put it away for the Christmas this year. Sorry, that is Fuzzy Hygge Christmas Vibes colouring book by Vivi Tinta. Then I've got one of my other project books. This is Lost and Found by RJ Hampson. This is with Dana at DabblerD on Instagram. And she chose the page for January, and she chose this one, the Home for Lost Cats. I absolutely loved colouring this. I knew I wanted to have a sort of peachy pink as the main colour for the page. So I started with that. With this chair, I made a light pink, and then I thought, she's going to be wearing pink as well, surely. So I made it a darker pink and brought that into like the lamp and the vase here. And just kind of spread out the colours that way. Used a light brown colour for all of the wood accents. And then when it came to the cats, I just had fun with different patterns and colours. Some ginger ones, a calico one, black ones, tabby ones. Yeah, had a lot of fun with this. And then I also brought in this sort of reddish maroon colour because there was a bottle of wine here. I thought that'd be a good way to integrate it with some of these other knitted elements throughout the page. Really enjoyed colouring this. It was such a mindless page to colour for me. I used the Polychromos pencils and a bit of gold Signo pen to outline the sort of scalloped border here. And there's also a key and some sort of gold lines on the couch as well. So that is the Home for Lost Cats page. I'll move mine across and show you Dana's here. Again, amazing job. I can tell she had a lot of fun colouring this page as well. And the page we are doing for February, it was my turn to pick, and I picked Lost Kingdom. I just love this page, one of my favourites from the book. So really looking forward to getting that one done soon. That is Lost and Found. And another project book is Colouring Heaven Pocket Fairy Tales. These are designs by Selena Fennick, and this is a project book with Lil from Pulse Colouring. And the page we did for January is the Snow Queen, and I knew I wanted her to have lots of icy cold colours as she is the Snow Queen. So I started with basing her with very pale blue. Then I got a bit lost. I knew I wanted her hair to look kind of silvery. I didn't want to make it blonde because I just wanted it to be very, very limited and kind of monochromatic, cool colours. So I didn't base her hair, I just kind of shaded it with pencils. I used the Prismacolors for this page. And then I was a bit lost on what to do for the sleigh. And then I was looking at it and thought, you know what, I'm going to make it silver, like a metallic silver. And I think that worked really well. And for the snowflakes, I used a metallic watercolour. That was very fiddly to do, so I used my thinnest paintbrush I have. And I also added the Silver Signo gel pen for the crown and a bit of the detailing on the sleigh itself as well. This was quite an easy page to colour once I figured out the colours. There's not too much detail to it, so really enjoyed that. I will show you Lil's here. We've got quite similar colour schemes because of the nature of the piece. I think we both knew we wanted to use blues, but they do look quite different from each other, which is always fun. So that was the page we did for January, and also we both didn't quite finish the page for December. We both finished it at the start of January, and it was the Elves and the Shoemaker page. I think for both of us, this wasn't our favourite page that we coloured. I coloured it, it's finished, it's done. It's not my favourite, it's not going to be a favourite. I don't hate it, but I wanted it to look very Christmassy and have reds and greens. Funnily enough, we kind of chose the opposite colours for the elves here. I actually made this one red and these two green, I think. But we did go quite similar again with the colour palette. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for basing, shaded over the top with Prismacolors, and there's a little bit of gold Signo for the, what do you call these, like the eyelets, the grommets, I don't know, the holes, I don't know. I'm losing it. I will show you Lil's here again. Love how hers turned out, but yeah, we both kind of struggled with this page a little bit, but it's done. We don't have to do it again. We are doing the Wizard of Oz page for February, and it's both one of our favourite pages from the book, so really looking forward to getting that one done in the Pocket Fairy Tales book. Then I did quite a few pages, well, 3 pages in the Kawaii tarot colouring book. This is another one of my books to focus on for 2025. This page, the Hierophant, was a Outstanding Whip from 2024. I had based pretty much the whole thing with the Tombow dual brush pens, and I just didn't get around to pencil shading it. I got caught up with a load of buddy colours and then Christmas and all that. So I finally sat down and finished this for January. As I said, I based it with the Tombow dual brush pens, and I shaded over the top of this one with the Artex pencils and added a lot of the Kuretake Gansai Tambi gold watercolour for the border and for the stars as well, and on their unicorn horns. I just love the pastel colour palette of this. I think it looks lovely for this page. One of my favourite ones from this Major Arcana section. And as I've been going through this in order, I turned to the Lovers next, and this was another really easy page for me to colour. I based it again with the Tombow dual brush pens. I used these very limited colour palette of this sort of minty green, pale pink, pale pastel purple, a yellow, and a tiny bit of brown. I didn't want to make the volcano sort of a, what's the word, a highlight, so I just made it brown to kind of blend in with the background almost. And I shaded it over the top with, what did I use for this one? Can't find it in my book now. Here. I shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils, and they worked okay. I think I could have got a bit more depth of shading with the bunnies themselves, but it was quite a large area. I had some streaks to cover up from the water-based brush pens, but it looks okay. I think I could have coloured it slightly better, but I like the colour scheme. I've got the Chariot next, which I will be working on soon. My goal was to get the Hermit done by the end of February, but I don't think that's going to happen now, considering I haven't been colouring for a few weeks. But that's okay. And then coming to the back of the book with the Minor Arcana, I've been doing all of these as buddy colours. I saw that Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring was colouring this for my prompt bird for January, and I asked to join her. And this was another quite simple page to colour. I did all the bamboo in one night, and then I left it for a few days because I wasn't sure what colour to do the flowers, and decided to do something different for me. I rarely ever do blue flowers, but I don't know why. I was just wanting to do blue flowers for this page. I added a bit of pink and yellow to create a sort of kind of primary colour scheme. And I made the owls brown to match with the branch, so it wasn't the only brown part of the page. Zoe didn't quite get to finishing hers, which is absolutely fine. And I added the metallic watercolour for the border, and also there are lots of little dots in the background, so I added some metallic pink and blue dots for those. In fact, I see I've missed one down here. I'm not going to bring out the watercolours again just for one dot, but I missed one down there, that's okay. And also whilst I was colouring this, I realised that there's not 9 of swords, there's 10 on this page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just thought that was funny. The fact that it's the 9 of swords, but there's 10 on the page. And that was all I'd done from Kawaii Tarot for the month of January. Getting a move on with this book. I've been tracking the pages at the back. So there are 22 major arcana pages, those are the big ones at the front, and I have done 7 of those, and 56 minor arcana at the back, and I've done 7 of those. So 14 pages done in this book, really trucking along with it. Next I've got Year of Witches. This is a project book with Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring here on YouTube and Instagram. And we did the gift exchange page for Zoe's birthday in January. And I don't know why, but when I saw this, I thought pinks, blues, greys. And so I went through the colour cubes and found a few palettes that kind of matched the vibe that I was wanting to go for. I knew I didn't want to make it Christmassy because the previous page I did was very red and green, festive, Christmassy. I wanted to make this more different, just change it up. So I've got a weird mark on there. It looks kind of yellow rather than white on her hair. I'll have to have a look at that after I finish the video. But yeah, I went through the colour cubes and found some palettes that I kind of liked, and I sort of took this sort of peachy pink, the darker pink, the blues, and kind of a grey here. So I didn't follow them exactly, they were just my inspiration, but you can see how it transferred to this page. I decided against doing a background. 1, I couldn't be bothered, and 2, I felt like they popped off the page enough as it was. I based this with alcohol markers and shaded over the top with polychromos, as I have been doing for the whole of this book. I do think I added a bit of white Prisma just to bring in some highlights though, and also a bit of the Pentel Dual Hybrid Silver Glitter Gel pen for the stars here. Yeah, really like how that turned out. And another page finished in Year of Witches. For February, it was my turn to pick, and I picked this beehive one because I love bees, if you couldn't tell from my channel. But I think this will be really fun to colour. That is Year of Witches by Usiku. Then I've got a couple of books that I had very long-term whips in. First up, I have Colours Make You Happy, Volume 3 by Miki Takai. Don't know if it is actually Volume 3, that's just how I've kind of categorised them in terms of their release order and what I think is Volume 3. But because this translates to something a bit confusing in English. But yeah, I just call it Colours Make You Happy 3. And I had this rabbit page almost done for such a long time. I had coloured the background, the rabbit, the cherries, these light pink flowers, and that was it. I hadn't coloured any of the flowers around the bunny, the flower crown, or these smaller flowers. So I just sat down and was like, right, I'm going to finish it today. I think I'd just done my whip video and I was thinking about this page and I just really wanted to get it done. I love how the cherries looked. They look so like juicy and delicious, don't they? And I wanted to keep this very limited pink colour palette because I thought it looked really cute. And I was thinking about maybe adding some more colours in with the bunny in the centre, but I thought, no, let's keep it simple. And just do a darker combo for some of these, have a lighter combo, and then bring the same colours for the flower crown at the top. And then I just did a bit of white paint pen highlights. I was tempted to white out the lines for the striped background, but I decided against that because sometimes it can look a bit messy if it's not perfectly straight. I just thought leave it as is. I like how it looks, and it is done. I used Prismacolors for the pencil work on this page, and for the background I used a Tombow Dual brush pen which actually reacted a little bit weird around the edges. You can see it's slightly darker around the edge. I think there must be some coating to it and it bled through slightly, but not in the centre of the page, so I wasn't sure why that happened, but something to be mindful of for future pages in this book. I'm really glad to finally have a page done in here. We've got all these Chinese zodiac animals in the back, loads of really cute images at the front, and I'm looking forward to getting some more pages done in this. That is Colours Make You Happy Volume 3 by Miki Takai. Then I have Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and another long-term whip finally finished. I have had this whip for such a long time, and it was this magical letters opposite the owl post room. So I finished this page on the 24th of March 2023, and I started this page directly after finishing this one because I knew I wanted to use the same purple pencil for the background. I did have a base layer for the purple down and a base layer for all of the letters and packages down, and I just deepened it up, made it look a little less streaky for the background, and sort of added a bit of shading with a darker pencil for these parcels, brought in the purple on the envelopes for the flowers and details, and lots of gold stars in the background, and I think I added these gold dots just to fill up the background and make it extra magical. I used the Staedtler Design Journey pencils for the background, for the purple, the green of the leaves, and I think this darker brown package, and then for this sort of lighter beigey ivory colour I use the Black Widow pencils. But yeah, I like how they look next to each other now, and super happy to finally have this page done, and now I don't have a whip in this book, which is great. That is Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. And the final full colouring page I have to show you before I go on to my colour by numbers is Any Day by Morgan O'Brien. I hadn't touched this book for quite a few months. I was colouring in it each month with Amanda Colours colour along for this book, and I have now gone through and tabbed all of the ones that I missed. I think I've only actually missed 5 or 4 in total, so I wasn't as behind as I thought I was. But Zoe had recently got this book and she was colouring in it, and we were talking one night and I just felt very inspired to colour in it, so I picked it up and coloured the page for January, which was this yoga studio page, and I just used a bunch of pastel Ohuhu markers. Really had a lot of fun with colouring this. I started out with this tealy colour for the yoga mat, and I think now I wish I'd brought this teal colour more into the page. I think I could have done the background teal and that would have brought it together a bit more. But that's okay. What's done is done. It's still a nice pastel colour scheme. Any Day looks very relaxed and soft and cute. I used the Ohuhus, mostly the pastel set that I have, and I shaded over the top with the Black Widow pencils, as that is what I've been using for this book for Any Day herself, and I like to try and keep it consistent. I said that earlier, didn't I? Consistent throughout the book. I just find it fun. So I was glad to get another page done in Any Day by Morgan O'Brien, and I do have a few to catch up on, and I can't remember what February's page was. I have no idea. I'll have to look it up. There we go. And then the final few books I have to show you are all my colour by numbers I did for the month of January. I did 1 or 2. Yeah, I did 2 in Family. First one I did was this cute Scrooge McDuck with his niece and nephews. This was really fun to colour. It was like the perfect level of detail in terms of colouring their outfits and each of them, and it just turned out really bright and colourful and cute. I use a black paint pen for the outlines for all of these colour by numbers, and Crayola Super Tips for the colour work, just because I find them easy to use, they're cheap, and they create some really nice bright results, and I don't mind the streaks. Then I was at my grandma's house in the new year doing our sort of second Christmas with her, and I got her to pick a page and she picked this Aristocats one. I've actually coloured this. In fact, I will show you. Coloured almost this exact same image in Tome 11. They sometimes repeat images, but you can see the cats are the exact same, but the backgrounds are different. In fact, I think I chose better colours for the cats on this page than I did for this page. And you can see the shading on their faces is slightly different between the two books, because I think they're illustrated by different people. Yeah, that's Jeremy Mariez, and that's Alexandra Karam. So yeah, they're illustrated by different people, but it's got the same kind of composition, just different backgrounds. But I still enjoyed colouring that one again. So thanks to my grandma for picking out that one from Family. Then I did one in Nature, and my dad picked this one. He picked Coda from Brother Bear. He was really cute to colour. Really enjoyed colouring him. It was quite easy and straightforward. Not too many colours. But yeah, they always turn out super cute, these pages. Then I have Love Stories, and I did one in here. I started this when I was colouring at Zoe's house at the start of January, and I think she picked a random number and she picked 64. So I coloured this page. The line work was very fiddly for this actually. It's very thin line work in this book, but I love the details on the page. Found the colours quite tricky, because if you look at the back, they're a lot darker. You can see the main image itself, they're a lot darker than what I coloured them as. So I just brightened them up a bit. You can change your colours, it's fine. That's Love Stories. Then I did quite a few in Tome 11. This is my favourite of all of them. I did this double page Wally spread because of Megan from from Meg's Colouring Corner. She picks a Disney film each month, and she picked Wally for January, so I did this double page spread. I thought I would hate colouring this because it's very neutral in tone. There's not many colours to it, but it was actually quite fun and relaxing with all these sort of angular lines. So I liked how that turned out. And then I did this Chicken Little one. I was trying to go through and pick some of the pages that weren't necessarily my favourites from the book, because I don't want to be left with just all my least favourites at the end. So I did this one, and I tell you what, this chair took forever to colour because it's got a bunch of different dotted lines on it, and you've got to colour around all them. What a nightmare. I imagine this would look a lot nicer and easier with paint pens, because you could just colour over the top, but you can't necessarily do that with water-based pens. But I do like how it turned out. I fancied doing another double page spread, so I did this Hercules one of Olympus. And again, I thought I wouldn't enjoy this, but it was really relaxing doing all these tiny little shapes. I used a few of the pastel colours from the Crayola Super Tips. And I love the rainbow colour scheme at the bottom. It looks so pretty. And the finished page looks lovely as well. So that was another fun one. And the final one I did for January was the Lotso page. I think this is probably my favourite of the bunch. I like the background of it, how bright and bold it is, and Lotso's a cute guy, even though he's the villain. So I've done quite a few pages in this book now. How many is that? 10, 20, 33 pages. 33 in Tome 11. And that was my final page to show you for the month of January. So do let me know in the comments below which was your favourite from the month. Ooh, let me think about what my favourite of the month was. So it was a bit of a struggle actually picking which was my favourite. It was a good colouring month. I did a lot of pages, but not ones that I absolutely loved. I think we all have months like that where you'll look back and be like, well, I like that, but I don't love it. And I think coming to the end of the year, I don't think any of the January pages will be in my absolute favourites. But I picked the art bookstore as my favourite for the month, just because I love the colour scheme of it, and I remember really enjoying the colouring process of it as well. But let me know, did you have the same favourite as me? Do you have a different one? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!